Alliance versus 2011 International Champions, Na'Vi.
And we're back for Game 3 of the International 2013 Grand Finals between Na'Vi and the Alliance. We're all tied up. What was once a best of 5 is now a best of 3. It all comes down to this. Your winner takes home $1.4 million and counting. The loser, only $600,000. And I say only, but that's still a lot of money.
And for the first time in this Best of 5 series, we're going to see Lone Druid being piloted by Admiral Bulldog, often known as one of his, if not the best hero for him. He has kind of played thousands and thousands of this game in this pub.
This is the hero that he's made a name for himself on. And, you know, it's a really cool storyline because actually Admiral Bulldog was discovered by Na'Vi and specifically by Dendi. His first competitive experience filling in as a stand-in for Na'Vi. Now the apprentice tries to become the master.
I mean, I think Na'Vi's kicking themselves. Like, why did we play with this guy? Why is this guy now on the other side of the booth and threatening to do a lot? But going back to what we heard from the analysts, it wasn't the Bat Rider that Na'Vi had big successes with. No disrespect to Dendi at all, but Kuroki with his ganks, with his relocates, the fact that he was just putting on so much pressure against Alliance. So let's see if with Wisp, whether they could do the same thing.
Yeah, I think obviously you probably don't want to give away all those heroes in general, but it was more the way they played the heroes, not the heroes themselves. A lot of early pressure. Alliance didn't expect it, caught off guard, and once Na'Vi had a good start, game was over because Alliance just had very little in the way of comeback mechanics. So going into Game 2, we'll see the S4 Bat Rider, the Lone Druid for Admiral Bulldog. It's still a draft that Alliance would normally love to get. They have given away a Wisp, an EO. They have given away an Alchemist to Havost, but I mean, their lineup a lot more stable and solid in the laning stage already.
Yeah, they gotta get some answer to that Bat Rider. Normally there aren't many, and that's really the issue. S4's Bat Rider have a 76% win rate, and obviously Alliance wins quite a bit, so I'm not sure how much that statistic means, but his play on Bat Rider is just absolutely marvelous. He puts so much pressure on your carry, he puts so much pressure on your support. It's hard to stop a hero like Bat Rider, especially if S4 is piloting it.
Yeah, now one of the better heroes against Bat Rider in the mid lane is Puck. Are we going to see a Dendi Puck this game?
We could be. I mean, Puck is definitely one of his best heroes. We've seen him pilot it all the way back in TI1 and definitely well before that as well. He knows that hero quite well. And of course, it's, oh, never mind.
I like these bans from Alliance. No more Funnick Bounty Hunter. No more Dendi Puck. You're going to have to pull something new. And now both junglers have been removed, and Na'Vi are going to step up Visage.
Yeah, some are surprised that they have not gone for the Obsidian Devourer. It's
the Outworld Devourer.
Yeah, Outworld Devourer.
One man of many names.
Man of many names indeed. OD does match up against Bat Rider quite well. It's his orbs and his magical damage does quite well against Lone Druid, so I was fairly certain that we're going to see that particular hero, but so far, nothing just yet.
Yeah, it's still available, and Alliance already having Bat. I mean, when you play Alliance, Bulldog has played Bat Rider, but they already have Lone Druid. So he's going to play Lone Druid. It means that you don't have to pick up the OD now. You can wait on it. You can get it with the 4th pick here. There's no more bans coming for Na'Vi before, for Alliance before that, and they're not going to go for it because they already have their mid, they already have their offlaner. So I like this from Na'Vi. If they want it, they can get it later.
I'm still expecting a Space Cow. I'm still expecting a Spirit Breaker. I called it once. It wasn't here. I'm still going to keep on calling it because this is a hero that they have practiced, and they want to bring it out. I want to see them bringing it out.
Yeah, Spirit Breaker is a support that does the damage of a carry in the late 8 stage. He hits like a truck. He's very hard to kill. He's pretty nice against Relocate, right? Because he's got high base armor. He's very tanky with his HP pool. Not an easy kill. Yeah. But it's a very unconventional pit.
It definitely is.
The common ones would be, well, there's no Naga, but there is still a Windrunner. That's something EGM plays a lot. Keeper Light's been banned out. What's Ake going to play this? I think that's my big question. What is Ake going to play this game? No Keeper of the Light, no jungle heroes. What's plan B?
No Naga Siren either, which is a hero.
Yeah, no Naga.
So, Spirit Breaker is my answer because
that's all you got.
I mean, there's Rubik. Obviously, that's a hero that he plays quite well. Shadow Demon's not too bad either. These are the more of a standard hero. If they want to go a little bit more AOE based, Jakiro's not bad, but those are boring. We've seen those before.
Yeah, and if you're up against Wisp, there's some common supports that you can turn to. Shadow Demon's great against Relocate gank. Disruptor can be very potent against them. And no, they'll go Mirana. So they throw out the book. They'll go with something new. Actually, we have seen this before from Loda. When the last time they ran Mirana,
Yes.
they did an aggressive Chine Mirana, Shadow Demon plus Enchantress.
Enchantress didn't even show up. They didn't even need him.
It was
They-
just a dual lane.
Yeah, they use it against Weaver, who normally very, very difficult to kill in lane, but you open up with Disrupt, and then you line up the arrows such that the arrow land, when they come out of Disruption, a ton of damage output from the spells, from your right clicks, and definitely from the SD Disruption illusions as well. So
10
let's see if they're going to
seconds
follow up
remaining.
here with a Shadow Demon pickup.
So in a traditional Dota team, your mid player is
5
normally the
seconds
2
remaining.
role. He's sort of your semi-carry, your ganker in the mid game. The safe lane farmer is normally the carry.
Reserve
But
time.
this game, we may see Loda as sort of that utility off-laner role, where he's not getting too much farm, maybe your secondary damage dealer, but it might just be Bulldog who ends up being the hard carry for Alliance, and that's really where their versatility lies. They can put Bulldog in the safe lane 1v1, and he'll beat most players 1v1 with his lone druid. I'll be hard-pressed to see Na'Vi taking 1v1, so Alliance looks like an aggressive tri lane from them. Generally, if you don't want to go aggressive, there's better heroes than Mirana. So let's see where they go.
Again, if you go aggressive trialing with that Shadow Demon Mirana kind of combo, again, what is really your support? If you go at Shadow Demon as a early game laner support, he doesn't in the mid game doesn't do too much. Now with that said, Demonic Purge is also very, very good against Alchemist. So we'll see exactly what Alliance is up to. Meanwhile, for Navi's side, what are we predicting here, especially for Funnick, especially for Dendi, because those heroes have not been drafted so far.
Yeah, for Funnick, his 3 big heroes have been Darkseer, Bounty Hunter, and I would say Windrunner.
Yep,
We used
yep.
to see him play a lot of Clinks in the safe lane role, but they don't have the kind of draft for that. So I don't expect to see a Clinks this game. That would be really greedy against Alliance. Doesn't match up that great against Lone Druid, especially not against Bulldog. So for Na'Vi, I'm thinking something like the Windrunner, farming the Ancients as that utility
10
offlaner.
seconds
Dendi's hero
remaining.
still to be determined this game. We've seen a lot of quap from him. No,
Early Razor.
it's going to be a Razor.
Alliance's turn
So
to
what do you
pick.
make of this?
Yeah, Razor definitely an okay, or actually very decent pick against Lone Druid. If he's sieging your base, for example, and you have some sort of dot on him, he cannot recall it back, and that's when Static Link could just drain every bit of damage from that barrier. And that also means Razor is going to have a huge impact in the mid game. But it really predicates on the fact that you do get the damage drain off, because if you don't, Razor is not really that insane of a damaging hero in the
10
mid game.
seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
and so we normally see Dendi on the very aggressive tempo controllers,
5
gankers,
seconds
snowball heroes.
remaining.
Razor is a snowball hero, but he doesn't have the catch-up potential of some of Dendi's other heroes.
Here comes
Oh man!
Alliance.
Navi.
And
Ogre
Lumi, I
Magi.
gotta remind you, they're on the dire side here.
The Ogre Magi is running through the crowd right now.
They're going wild.
They are. Hopefully they don't separate a costume. But Ogre Magi Alliance in the past have selected.
Round 2. There we go. What a costume. Unbelievable.
In the past, Alliance have selected this kind of support heroes. He doesn't do too much in the laning stage. He doesn't give you too much in a team fight. But uniquely, he gives you no other support hero can do is buff up your carries like no other. Attack speed, movement speed, and especially for that Lone Druid bearer, it is very, very, very scary.
Yeah, Bloodlust is one of the best support abilities in the game for making a carry stronger. Up there with power, perhaps even stronger.
10
Attack speed and move speed, 2 of the most important attributes to have more of in the game. Now the ban's coming out. The Dendi Quap is
Navi's
removed, so it
turn
looks
to
like they
pick.
actually expect Funnick to maybe be playing this Razor. It could be an off-lane Quap, I suppose.
I mean, in a 1v1 matchup against the bear, you just walk up to the bear and link his damage. What does the bear actually do? In fact, if Na'Vi has predicted the lanes the way that they have seen it and matches up Razor against Lone Druid, I could see that actually working quite well for the Razor.
If you're Alliance, we have seen some other teams, I think Orange Esports the most notable, where KYXY will take his Lone Druid mid. I have not seen Alliance do that before. It is something they could pull out if they want to
5
rejigger the
seconds
lanes, but
remaining.
now it's time for our final picks, and then we hop into Game 3.
Yeah.
Winner of this
Reserve
game
time.
is 1 win away from $1.4 million.
Alliance's
Okay,
turn
so
to
we
pick.
have
Hiroki Rubik.
Visage and Rubik.
Is this a Dendi Rubik? Dendi Rubik? Is it back? Is it back?
I mean, Dendi solo mid Wisp is also a thing.
Yeah, actually Dendi has been asking to get that solo mid-wisp from what I've heard from other players.
So then we're gonna see a solo mid Wisp.
Potential solo mid-wisp, potential solo mid-Rubik. Something different is coming from Na'Vi.
If you think about it, solo mid Wisp actually not bad against Bat Rider, but we'll talk about that later as we see Lina Inverse being selected here. So this offensive tri-lane is looking damn scary. Open with Fire Blast, you follow up with Light Strike Array, you follow that up with a Sacred Arrow, and suddenly that person is dead.
I mean, Alliance, you look at this draft, and they've got great lanes. Lots of burst damage, a very strong soul in the Lone Druid, and the S4 Bat. It's a pretty classic Alliance draft when they do go aggressive tri-lane. But Na'Vi have a lot of heroes that feel like they could just counter what Alliance is throwing their way. So now, Lumi, it's about time to get into Game 3. Winner of this, one win away from taking home the Aegis of the Immortal.
And they're probably going to get a lot of Aegis this game as well. Hopefully we're not going to see a 16-minute route this game. We're going to see something, a closer game, just echoing what the sentiments of our analysts outside.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about level 1 Roche, so I do want to say this is not a great level 1 Roche lineup. They can't really do it.
They got Light Strike Array.
It's going to take forever.
They got
this is not a level 1 Roche lineup, so
right,
Na'Vi don't have to worry about that.
All right, let's see who's actually playing what here on the Na'Vi side. 3-time finalist Kuroki will be playing your support Rubik. Dendi has swapped back to his Wisp. And is he going solo mid? We'll have to see. Funnick is going to be on Razor. Havos 4 on Alchemist. And last but not least, Puppy, Drafter, your support player on the Visage.
On the side of Team Alliance, yet to drop a set at the International 3. They lost a game, but this happened to them before, and then they took down DK. Can they do it again? Can they shut the door on Na'Vi? We'll start to answer that question now. Alliance, EGM, your 4-position Lina, Ake, the 5-position Ogre Magi, Loda, normally the hard carry, on the semi-carry, the Marana. Bulldog will be going mid as the Lone Druid, and that puts S4 into the safe lane on the Batrider. So already, it looks like Alliance expecting Na'Vi to do something weird, and they will be right about that, in fact. So these lanes now, I think, looking pretty good for the Alliance, actually.
Yeah, I mean, there's just mind games all over the place. What Na'Vi wanted to do is get a Wisp Batrider matchup on the mid lane, because it's actually somewhat difficult for a Bat to get the kill. You can always tether away to a creep wave that's coming to you and then run away from the Bat. Now, instead, he's going to get a Wisp Lone Druid matchup, and of course, Lone Druid has a ton of early game harassment power, especially coming from that Spirit Bear. And if you look at that Wisp, 0 armor. He is going to be taking a ton of early game harassment.
Arrow to fly, Kuroki calmly dodges it, and from the high ground,
Nice.
Puppy denies the haste. Smooth and polished teamwork from Na'Vi. Alliance now will make a foray into the enemy jungle. They're going to wrap around. You're up against the solo mid Wisp. Generally, you want to ward block the small camp. But right now, Alliance not doing so Dendi early access to a whole lot of stacks. Here we go. The creeps have spawned. The players approach their lanes. What are we looking at?
I mean, we're looking at Dendi not really having a good time mid. How does this guy win this lane? I mean, he has 50 base damage.
He gets level 6. That's how Dendi wins this lane.
I suppose.
Don't die, get level 6. You're not going to out-farm Admiral Bulldog unless he gets a gank supporting him. He's probably not going to find a kill, but then they've got the mid-game to fall back on. So the other matchup will be the Funnick Razor against S4's Bat. S4 starting with the Arena Protection, not rusting the boots early on. So far, both teams passive, but that could all change in a heartbeat.
I mean, for Na'Vi, they just want to keep it a passive, because if they ever make a go on this Alliance offensive tri lane, it's going to be tough to find those kills. Loda with a Sacred Arrow right now, but most likely going to take Leaf in level 2, and he's really the only person you're going to be able to initiate on. Both supports staying rather far back.
Yeah, if you don't catch Kuroki, then he can disrupt your follow-up. So let's say they arrow Puppy or Havos. Then when you come in to throw a Light Strike Array, simply Kuroki just lifts you. We'll see if it works, though. There's a Light Strike Array. No follow-up yet. Now, pulling an EGM, throwing him directly back down. Both teams a bit tentative here. So far, mid lane looking good for Dendi. 2-2 already. Very impressive against Denad, the Admiral Bulldog Lone Druid. He is slightly ahead in CS, but that's to be expected. Early on, blows being traded, but still, nobody really committing. The off-lane Razor 3-0, S4 winning this lane pretty handily.
Actually, Dendi on the mid lane is doing quite an admirable job
really
against Bulldog, because if you see the Wisp Spirits, he's doing a ton of damage, and he could actually get a bottle. Now, Admiral Bulldog definitely would not have the bottle crow option, so you can see Dendi, he's trying to cancel that south, trying to extend it, trying to get it. Nice juke backer by Bulldog.
It's worth mentioning, you talked about the 0 base armor for Dendi. If he overextends and takes like one tower shot, that's probably a quarter of his HP. There's a regen rune top, though. Dendi is about to be very, very happy. Now, generally, Lumi, when you're a mid-lone druid, you use your bear to deny the enemy solo runes, but Bulldog, he's using it to last hit, and he's too late. So Dendi, he gets a great rune, and now the lane really going well for him.
Yeah, Dendi surprisingly.
I mean, he's 2-5, Bulldog 6-7, but that's to be expected, like, honestly. This is good for Dendy.
Well, I mean, those deny is going to hurt him a little bit in terms of hitting level 6. This is a lane that we haven't talked about too much. Let's look at top here as Funnick is on that Razor and S4 is on the bat. I got to say, this is a fairly bad favorite matchup.
Yeah, Funnick, when you look at Razor, he's all about draining the enemy carry's damage, but
there he goes.
The sticky napalm allows you to disengage generally. He's actually going to lose quite a bit here, and he will be driven back for now.
Actually.
Funnick giving chase, really committing to this. We'll tank the creep wave, we'll back off.
I'm surprised that S4 has not scaled Firefly and used it when the chase comes, because you could just Firefly and fly over, and what is... I mean, Funnick's not going to chase you through the flames, right?
Yeah, holding on to his abilities here, maybe wants a Flame Break to go for an early kill. Take one in Flame Break, then one in Firefly. If you get in range, you can run him down. There's no mobility skills on the Razor, aside from his passive. Now he's going in again. S4 driven back, being lashed by the whip of the Razor. Funnick starting to come back in this lane a little bit. It was hard at first, but now he's zoning out the bat. Still no bottle forthcoming. Both teams very passive on the bottom lane. And if they're passive on this bottom lane, I gotta say that really favors Na'Vi.
Yeah, it does, because once level 6 is going to happen, we're going to see Kuroki most likely, not Kuroki, Dendy, because Kuroki generally plays the Wisp, but Kuroki most likely making a relocate, maybe even walks top, relocates the Razor bot, and suddenly you have 5-man team fight for Na'Vi on the bot lane.
And then you can bring the Razor back to top lane, so he wastes minimal time. Relocate, such a potent ability. Dendy, already level 4, close to 5. Bulldog leading in terms of experience. You'll notice this time around, sends the bear, checks the top rune. Now it's an invis, and it goes bottom. So they'll get that rune. And the denies that you mentioned are really important here. Like, every deny, Wisp is a ranged hero. It delays the level 6. But as you also stated, once he hits 6, this trialing could really fall apart for the Alliance. They're all level 2, and a level 6 Wisp can just absolutely dominate supports.
Yeah, at the same time, Dendy's got to be somewhat careful when he relocates in, because there's nothing but burst damage on this Alliance trialing. So we have Arrow, Fire Blast, Bloodless, interesting second level of from Aki. Of course, EGM has 2 nukes under his own, so if he comes in and he missteps a bit, he could just get blown up.
Yeah, Bloodlust is really nice early on, because auto attacks are pretty important, and I mean, it's such a great chasey ability. We'll see if he levels it up. It synergizes great with the bear, and when you're support Ogre, levels are at a premium. He's not a great flash farmer. He's in the off lane, so going for early Bloodlust, he might not get to level up both of his other skills until much later on. I actually think this is a great build, and it could really accelerate their push and their Roshan attempts if they go for them later on.
Dendy coming on the mid lane here, using those spirits, harassing away at Bulldog. Bulldog dropping to about... Is he actually going for the kill? He really can't, but good harass.
19 and 12. Dendy, though, really holding his own. 14 and 8. And he's been saying that Wisp is underrated as a solo mid. I did cast him playing this once. It was not against the Alliance. It was against sort of what we would call a tier 2 or tier 3 team. He crushed. We'll have to see if he can crush them, though. They're going to be a much stauncher opponent here.
Well, level 6 is coming quite soon. I mean, generally the timing for level 6 on the mid lane is around this, although the harass...
Oh, the root comes here. No tether. Dendy's in trouble. He's got nowhere to run. He's going to be the first blood. The Bulldog root does it. And now, Alliance in a commanding position.
When you have no base armor and when he gets a lucky root on you like
Meanwhile, top lane, S4 prepping with the Firefly, but with the damage stolen, does he look to go? He's got a bottle charge here. No, he'll back off.
Yeah, he can make plays like these, and if it doesn't work out, he has a very safe escape because of Firefly.
Not once Dendy's level 6, though. Not once he's level 6, you make that play, you might just die.
Back in the mid lane here, Spirits are coming in against Bulldog, trying to get the root. If he gets a root, he could get the kill.
There's always a tether for Dendy. The next creep wave's coming. I mean, that situation mid for Bulldog was very unique, right? Because he got the root right after the creep wave was there, and Dendy was next to it. So there was no ally to tether to. It's not a dual lane mid, and there was no creeps to run away from. Sure, you can tether to them, but they're right next to you. You're not getting away. So this time around with full mana, with bottle charges, Bulldog can maybe zone him out, but getting a kill will be a bit tougher.
Yeah, we're talking about Dendy leaving his lanes when he gets level 6 for a relocate. Ganks is making it happen right now on the bot lane. Kuroki, there's a leap. They want Aki first. Toss him back. One-man stand against Loda. Loda dropping low. They're going to focus him down. That's 2 kill going to Na'Vi. We expected the rotation. Here it comes, and Dendy strikes fast and hard.
Yeah, solo mid Wisp, lose your lane, gank the other lane. That's the power of this hero. Straight back to mid, back to farming. Bulldog going for early phase boots on his bear. He loves to rush Midas, but this game, he's not doing it. Back when Armlet was something that really worked well on Lone Druid, we saw him always go for it, but phase into boots, in the safe lane, it's almost always the Midas into Radiance. So Bulldog is making an interesting adjustment to his item build.
Not too bad in this game. Again, Wisp is a very, very squishy hero in the early game, so if you kind of hit him a couple of times in lane, eat with your face boot bear, that's going to do it. But I really want to point out that normal other solo mid heroes, when they make a gank to other lanes, it takes a long time. You know, you walk there, you make the gank, you walk back or you TP back. By that time, the creep wave is working your tower. There's a barrier on your tower. But because you can relocate, spend 10 seconds there, and then you're instantly back, I mean, the creep wave never even got to his tower. So Dendy protecting his tower while putting up pressure on the other side of the map, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, the other nice thing is not only does he get the kills, but he drives Alliance off of the offensive tri-lane. Havost has a point in Greeble's Greed. It's not a Greeble's Greed max. Now they're going to mid. Tether's there. They're stealing Bulldog's damage already into big bear form. He's tanky, but is he tanky enough? Funnick taking a lot of damage, but Bulldog more. Thrown from high ground to low ground. Now the chase is on. Funnick dropping fast. S4 chasing. Tether's there. He's too hard to kill. They can't bring him down. Alliance getting outmaneuvered at every corner. The bottom lane in disarray. Driven off of that. Now Bulldog falls mid. Not rushing on Midas. Nobody's really farming that well. Loda not on a hard carry. They don't have the best split push lineup. This game, Alliance, at pretty much every game, they start ahead and they stay ahead. That's not the case here.
Relocate on the back line. EGM trying to protect himself. Tether, and the EGM's going to go down. Kuroki will pick up that one. And Na'Vi, very similar to game 2, are rolling hard right now.
The Alliance yet to drop a set at the International 3, yet they didn't drop a game in the group stage, but here, 4-1, trailing already by 1,500 gold, 1,500 experience. Alliance has to feel like they're on the back foot. Now Loda farming top lane. Dendy relocates down, but that doesn't stop him from going to play some aggressive wards. And this is a cute thing you can do with Wisp is, hey, if you get ganked, you've always got Tether to get out, so not an easy hero to shut down. And as a highly leveled Wisp, not an easy kill. So Dendy, he's transitioning. Not that semi-carry role. He's going to show an additional form here.
Also, very interesting skill build coming out from our Razor player, Funnick. He's gone. Generally, you definitely pick up your ultimate as it's a huge early game damage. But he's just maxing his nuke. He's, you know, static link is his second priority. Very interesting.
Yeah, the nuke's just some nice burst damage, and it synergizes very well with these other supports, which are all about instantly blowing someone up. You look at an Alchemist, that's his goal. It's similar for Dendy. The orbs do an absolute metric ton of damage. So when you max the Razor nuke, if it hits you at max range and does extra damage, you can see there, 370. It really adds up.
Well, I think they're going to try to set up a play here on the mid lane. A little bit of a Tether movement speed being granted to Kuroki. By the way, Relocate's going to be back up in about 5 seconds.
S4's got to be very cautious. If he overextends even slightly and they get a Tether stun and a lift, he'll be dead to the follow-up. Here we go.
Bot.
He's overextended perhaps. Firefly's there, heading already to the tree line. S4 juking away. They can't really do much to him here. Havost self-stunning. S4 maybe going back in. He could grab Havost. Not just yet. Waiting for Dendy to go back. Dendy's gone. And now S4. He can't go in. But Batrider, great defensive movement by S4 dodging the gang.
How is that fair? You just go off the map. They can't even kill you.
Yeah, that's actually off the map. Like, if you're not Firefly, you can't go there. Nothing. Nothing will get you there. Firefly, though, it knows no boundaries.
Well, actually, missing that gank and not having Relocate for the next 50 seconds or so is going to be somewhat annoying for Na'Vi, because what they want to do right now is keep up pressure and make sure that nobody on the map is farming. You can still load up very confidently, going up forward up top, getting a couple of last hits. Mid lane, they're not really scared too much either, because Relocate is down.
Yeah, I agree. It's a setback for Na'Vi, but I feel like the rhythm of this game is a Na'Vi rhythm. Lots of early clashes, the potential for more, Havost farming, not having to join the fights, but being able to very soon. Alliance, they're so used to playing from being ahead. They're so used to the defensive tri-lane, stacking the neutrals, stacking the ancients, Bulldog catching up on Prophet, Bulldog going for an early Midas on Lone Druid, S4 getting a very fast tempo controlling item like a Blink. They're not getting those items. It's just a game pace and a style that they're not accustomed to being in. They'll really have to show some versatility here, because this is not their comfort zone.
Yeah, Na'Vi definitely has shown that versatility. That's why they're always deep into those tournament running, and that's why they're still here fighting on against Alliance, despite Alliance having a great run to tournament so far.
So now, I mean, the clock's starting to tick. You're seeing big items come out. There's a Shadow Blade for Havost. There's an Urn for your Wisp for Dendy. And that next level of aggression, the second wave, it's going to be a lot scarier. Here we go. It's going to come soon. Don't be surprised if Havost TP's in. He can farm. He's going back to Agreeable's Greed Max, but we know Havost, man. He wants to fight.
I really like the way that Alliance is playing so far right now. They know Relocate's up. They got to respect the ganking power of that Relocate. But look at the player's position. You have your supports just hiding behind the mid tower, hiding behind the top tower. They are not going to show themselves on the minimap. They're not going to get picked off. Druid just jungling. He's going to slowly rotate back to the other lanes. And of course, Mirana as well as S4 will back up on the mid lane. They could confidently show themselves. So despite having very aggressive hero on Na'Vi side, S4 and the rest of the team not too scared.
Yeah, the problem though is they're They're not, I mean, they actually are keeping it even in terms of golden experience, but some of these supports are starting to feel a bit underleveled. EGM only level 4. You look at Kuroki, he's already level 6 on his Rubik. Navi just getting ahead in terms of experience on these supports, and that's a big problem. Wisp, all about burst. If supports are squishy, they just melt. They also melt to Alk. And here comes your push bottom lane. Navi looking not only for the first blood, but now for the first tower of the game. No defense mounted by the Alliance. A bit lacking on counter push, to be honest, Lumi. All they've really got is the nukes from Lina, and the first tower of Game 3 will go to Navi. 13 minutes in, Dendi with the last hit.
Yeah, great play here by Navi, striking something, getting something off the map, because if you look at the experience graph for the past 2 minutes, it's all Alliance advantage. Nothing is happening. They're a lot more efficient in jungle. They're jungling with Admiral Bulldog, and now Ake's right next to him, giving him Bloodlust. If this goes on and nothing happens, Alliance will come back, and they're definitely already coming back. So Navi need to get something going. Dendi looking for a relocate.
So do you think that Alliance just have this flat out late game, or does it just come down to execution if it goes late?
I feel like there's a ton of chain stun, a ton of tank already on Alliance side. I mean, sure, Havos is going to be scary, he's going to be big, but a single root, right, a single stun against Havos, he can't really lock down. He's a melee carry at the end of the day, so that's going to be a concern. But Navi right now going towards the top lane, trying to get something going, but they are scouted by Observer Ward.
Yeah, they're scouted in their rotation to the top lane. They've got familiars here, and it looks like if they want to pressure this tower, they most certainly can. The Blink Dagger on the Bat Rider for S4 finally about to come out. 14 minutes in. Call it a pretty late blink for him, and now Havos duking it out with the bear. He'll take a bit of damage. Blink now secured. Navi, all these early to mid game items, Shadow Blades, Power Treads, Phase Boots, Drums, Urn. They want to fight. Will they find that fight?
Narrowly missing on the mid lane here. I think they will find the fight because S4 just picked up on his Blink Dagger. He's going to be looking to play very aggressive, maybe defend his tower or something. So far, Tier 1 tower dropping a little bit up top. Again, I feel like Alliance is very comfortable giving this early game tower. Here comes the Moonlight Shadow. I think they're trying to set up some ganks.
Navi, meanwhile, they're heading towards top. Alliance too late in pursuit. They'll back off towards mid. Kuroki is spotted. There's a blink. There's a lasso. He's running. Does he get off the lift? Too late. He's been caught by S4. Now he's dead in an instant. No relocate. Alliance finally getting on the board in the mid game. They'll pick up their second kill. And now the Tier 1 mid, it's going to fall fast. Bulldog getting closer and closer to that relic. 2.2k gold. I'd be shocked if he doesn't go for it. He really likes his farm.
Yeah, and Relic is going to be an issue because if you look at Navi's side, they have a ton of heroes that are very, very low in terms of health. So I think Alliance right now is fully in the advantage. They got a kill in the mid lane. They have got a Tier 1 tower. And in fact, in theory, they should be behind. They should be scared. But as they're roaming as 4 or 5, they're not going to get picked off. Not by Dendi.
And you talked about the tankiness of them, maybe allowing their tanky lineup just withstanding the ganks. They're also very elusive on these heroes. The Blink Bat with Firefly, we saw just with Firefly, he can dodge away from relocate ganks. Your Mirana's got leap. Your lone Druid's not mobile, but he's very hard to kill. So if the relocate ganks stop and they're not finding them, Havos didn't go Battle Fury, he didn't go Midas, he didn't go for the greedy build, or the more farming-oriented build, I should say, that we saw last game. So they're not just going to win by out-farming their opponents. They're not building for that style. So now they've oriented themselves to fight. They're not finding fights. Alliance are feeling more comfortable.
Yeah,
but now Navi putting on pressure mid.
Tier 1 tower siege on mid, but I guess S4, he's got his flaming lasso and I got a couple of seconds.
Oh, flies the arrow. It lands on Funnick. Too far away, though, is his team. They can't engage. But that was a nice arrow. Here comes your bear. If it gets a root, they might jump. No, not yet.
This bear is already really scary. He's got no item aside from phase speed on top, but with Bloodlust, he's running very fast. He's attacking very fast.
Yeah, in theory, you talked about it, how Razor is a counter to Lone Druid, but that's assuming that Funnick can withstand the damage that comes out from Alliance. And to be honest, if he runs in with no BKB, he's in a lot of trouble. The bear starting to take some chip damage. Funnick low. Arrow to fly. Hits. What a snipe. But is there follow-up? S4 looking to leap. Not going yet. Tower's low. Familiar stun. It gets denied by the Bulldog. Now Havos fishing for a stun. He's about to self-stun. Alliance, though, not going yet. Aloda's just sniping them all over the place.
Again, I mean, that deny was absolutely huge. Navi spent 5 members on the mid lane, And they're now going back. They don't have too much to farm. If you look at the creep wave, there's a huge wave up top, so Alliance is going to clear that up. In fact, you see Na'Vi farming the jungle as 5 members. They are definitely falling behind in terms of gold experience, and they will not keep up with Alliance. They don't have an answer for that lone druid once he gets the Radiance.
Yeah, and you're talking about the gold, and it is going Navi's way, but you got to keep in mind that they have 1, 2, 3 towers down. Alliance only have 1. So once Alliance, if they win a fight and they get 2 towers, they maybe get a Roche. That gold graph that looks like it's Navi's favor will instantly go the other direction. Here we go. Leap onto Havos. Trapped in the jungle. Sentry Ward's prepped. They found it, but Dendy wants to bring him home. No, not relocating yet. Turning around. Throwing out the stun. It's a trap. And S4 will fall. Na'Vi were ready. They were prepared. Alliance thought they had him. There was no, even with the Laguna Blade, it just wasn't enough damage.
Very, very important counter gank here. And Dendy now have both traveling as a pack. They're thinking about relocating. If they see anybody, they will see EGM on the mid tower. Oh, EGM, you thought you were safe. You are never safe from Dendy.
Wow, that was a pure anticipation gank. Because you look at it, they have vision now because their heroes are here. This Observer Ward spotted him running back, and they just knew he'd keep on running all the way to the base. Beautiful movement from Na'Vi, leading 6-2, but they got to keep it up. They get the kills, they can't sit back and relax too much. Late game, Lone Druid, very hard for an Alchemist to deal with until he gets to 6-slot status. He can just man fight the Bear. So the mid game going to be tough. In comes an arrow, hits a creep. Off the mark from Loda, unfortunately. Now the tower falling fast. They'll maybe look for a deny here. They're still defending. Na'Vi are going to back off. So, I mean, Alliance, they give up a kill. They're hanging on, though.
They are definitely hanging on. Again, it goes back on how the next 5-10 minutes is going to play out. For right now, in these last 2-3 games, Na'Vi's playstyle is actually reminding me, quite frankly, of Orange. I mean, if they are getting kills, they're rolling hard, they're getting everything on the map. They're getting enemy camps, they're getting towers, but when they're not getting kills, it doesn't feel like it's the same team. So on that last 5-6 minutes where they didn't get too much done, we saw Alliance slowly accruing gold, slowly coming back, and when they do get the kill, obviously gate towers. Back in the mid lane, they're trying to gank that Bear, but it's elusive. And by the way, that Bear has a Sacred Relic, so...
Yeah, he's had it for a little bit now. 100 gold up on Bulldog. Radiance is forthcoming. And once the Radiance is there, Na'Vi, they really want to gank, but they'll have to defend against that split push. The tower low, no defense in sight. The tier 2 mid will fall to Na'Vi. Alliance, they're bending. They have not broken yet, and they're just waiting for some items here. Once those items come, though, they'll change their tenor.
Yeah, at the same time, you can't be too comfortable if you're Alliance. Sure, Radiant Spear is a big deal, but at the same time, your Mirana right now not really doing too much damage. Bat Rider is more or less just a kind of a great initiation hero. He doesn't do too much. Doesn't have a Force Staff, for example. Doesn't have a Shiva's Guard. So they are very reliant on Bulldog surviving in these team fight, and that really comes down to how well the focus fire is going to come from Na'Vi. So we'll see how Na'Vi places. The ball's definitely in their court.
This is yet another game that Alliance has given away the Wisp to Na'Vi. We've seen this quite a few times, and it does force you to play differently, right? Because normally Alliance would be stacking the jungle camps, they'd be maximizing their jungle farm, they'd be stacking the Ancients, and they wouldn't be rotating as 3 or 4. They'd spread out, they'd use their wards and just their predictions and their map movements, their anticipation to bait Na'Vi into fights and win those fights. But you can't do that against Wisp. If you're just there like, okay, we'll TP and we'll counter gank, no, too late, you're already going to be dead. The tier 1 bottom, now denied by Funnick. The Wisp is really forcing Alliance into a less... They're not farming as much as what they want, and it's because of the Wisp.
Volt's dropping quite low here too, Ancient Stack. Really want to finish it, but probably need to pop his ultimate. And
but he's got 4.2k gold. You get an AC, and it won't help you against Radiant Spur, but it will help you kill off the Bear, and it helps you 5-man. It really helps you push.
Do you think he'll favor the AC here or the BKB? Because there's also a ton of Suns and nukes coming on the other side.
Yeah, it's a tough call. There's a lot of stuff that goes through BKB. We'll just have to see which direction he wants to go. I think AC is a bit better as far as the Death Ball item. It makes your whole team stronger, and no, Reaper. Oh, he's going hard.
Yeah, so
pure tank from Havos.
I mean, we saw in that last engagement where they used the Lasso to initiate on him. They didn't even really kill him, so now with the heart, he is really safe on the front line.
That's a 21-minute heart on Havos.
Oh, that's bad farm. I mean, last game he had like a 10-minute AC and like 20 minutes the game was over.
He's
right?
probably very disappointed in his 21-minute heart.
I'm disappointed in Havos.
Havos, though, he didn't go for the Midas this game. His farm has been delayed a little bit. Did max Greevil's Greed. Remember as well, this farm, he's up against aggressive tri-lane early on. So Havos right now, 2-0-2, weathered the storm. Dendi really blew the lane open with that early relocate, and since then, he's been farming. Now though, set the clock, because Bulldog just got his Radiance. 22 minutes. We've seen him get one at 14 minutes along with a Midas. So it's late by Bulldog standards, but he's got it now, and now he can work towards those next big items. It's game 3 of a best of 5. Whoever wins this is 1 win away from claiming the Aegis of the Immortal and being the International 2013 champions. Still though, the game very much in the balance.
Again, for the past 5-6 minutes, we see Na'Vi not really doing too much over the map. Again, the experience slowly dropping down to Alliance side. Go definitely still going towards Na'Vi though, because they're a little bit more efficient. They're farming the Ancient Camp.
And they have 4 towers to 2, so they have the tower advantage here. Here comes the smoke though, they've got Radiance. Na'Vi, will they be caught out? If they 5-man smoke gank into you, relocate will be pretty much useless aside from just running. So here comes S4. Firefly up, looking to leave. Is he gonna go? He's still prepping. Now they have Moonlight Shadow, but Navi's on the run. The Bear losing damage fast. Havos trying to fight. Everybody from Alliance backing off. No engagement yet. Looks like they're just scared to fight. And in the end, they're gonna be running. Moonlight Shadow blown. Initiation, smoke gank. Not gonna work. Na'Vi just standing and Alliance run away.
It's very, very important for S4 to find a lasso, get a quick kill, and then you move on, because as a unit of 5, Na'Vi is very difficult to walk into. They have a very, very tanky Alchemist in front line that you cannot ignore because he's doing a ton of damage. And now Na'Vi deciding to go into the Roshan pit. I mean, Firefly is down, but it's back up now, and you gotta expect him. Here we go. Havos being pulled out here, and there's nobody helping him out except a relocate. Can Dendi bring him home? He's not doing anything just yet. Havos still very tanky. Dendi walks into it. Oh no.
They're still raging on. Kuroki to fall. 2 dead. Now they're on the run from the backside. Comes Fronic. Laguna Blade as well. That's 3 for 1. Alliance, where there's a will, there's a way. 4 for 2. And haunting Havos. He's going to be a tough kill. But there's your arrow. Loda is sniping them all. Cannot miss. Will not stop. That's a team wipe. Give them 5, 4, 1. And now directly into the Roche pit. Actually 5 for 2, but here we go.
That was a huge advantage won here by Alliance. And I mean, it just begs the question of Na'Vi going into that Roshan pit despite having Flaming Lasso up on S4.
That's just really confident. I mean, to the point of you could even call it cocky.
Yeah, and well, they definitely now understand why they can't do that.
And now if Roche goes to the Alliance, they have so much more confidence to move around this map. Puppey, he's sending his familiars. They'll stun, they'll slow this Roche down, but when you have a bear that's hitting this hard, can they actually go?
Keep in mind they got relocate. Dendi's thinking about relocating in.
Roche is low. It's about to fall. Relocate comes. Roche not dead yet. Aegis to Loda though. He grabs it. Now Havos trapped in the pit. Bulldog will fall. They lose the bear. They get the Aegis and they get out with it. So all in all, pretty close there. Slight advantage maybe to Alliance.
Yeah, I know it was really crazy down in that pit. I'm not sure whether it benefits Alliance a little bit more by having Bulldog pick it up, for example.
Yeah, I think you really want Bulldog to pick it up, but they do hold on to it, and Loda's going to be a credible damage threat. He's got a Yasha, drums, as well as phase boots. Now he goes towards the Manta or just the next damage item.
It doesn't seem like it's actually a lot of damage because he's only hitting for like, 125 damage. Keep in mind with the drums activated, with the attack speed that Yasha grants, and of course Bloodlust. Like, he is going to be hitting quite fast, so there is some legitimate damage coming out from Loda, but Tier 2 now goes to Na'Vi as they're securing more and more advantage. But this gold graph and experience graph, it's not really leaning on any team side. Again, Alliance getting more experience is a concern for Na'Vi because this team, they always have to roam as 3 or 4, especially Dendi, right? He's always sitting with Havos. That means his experience gain is not going to be too impressive.
Alliance has just shown remarkable resilience this game. I mean, you look at the way the game developed. The lone druid mid got picked off. The tri-lane fell apart. They were forced to abandon it. They were farming a Mirana, not the hardest carry. Na'Vi, early success with tower pushing as well. They once led by, I believe, 3 or 4 towers to 1. Then it was 4 to 2. Then Alliance finds a huge fight near the Roshan pit. It's been a topsy-turvy game, but if you want to be a champion, this is how you're going to have to do it, the tough way. Alliance standing strong, Bulldog, now a Hyperstone up, working towards an AC. He's keeping up decently with Havos. I mean, he's still behind, but Lone Druid, only 3k gold down to a Greevil's Greed max is pretty decent.
Yeah, it's actually very, very impressive. And we'll see how Alliance takes this game. Again, they'll keep playing on defensively until they need to react. So far, I still believe that they have the later game, but let's revisit that question again. You asked me that earlier. Who does have the better late game? Is it going to be your Mirana as well as Admiral Bulldog's Lone Druid, especially with Bloodlust as a big buff?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing to mention. Bloodlusting the bear means if it comes down to a base race, you're going to have a huge advantage there. You also have to look at Na'Vi and say, well, it can't just be one fat carry, because if it's only of those two's farm, there is Flaming Lasso on the other side. And if he does get caught by Arrow, by Lasso, if he gets rooted, if there's bashing coming out from the bear, I mean, one fat carry against disables doesn't matter how many items he has. So this is where they want Funnick to get items. Funnick, however, is a bit poor. 7k net worth. Razor, one of his weaknesses is he's not the greatest flash farmer.
He's got a Mithril Hammer, so...
He'll have the BKB soon, but Razor... he tends to fall off in the late game. He can be a nuisance if he gets the Ags, the Refresher. He's a great pusher in his own right, but can he keep up to me? That's the big question.
Yeah, I think right now going with the BKB is not too poor of a choice. Like, he could just pop the BKB and run towards Alina, run towards the Ogre Magi, and basically zone them out because there's no way that these 2 support can handle him. In fact, he could do that against the Mirana as well, but eventually there comes a stage where you just cannot ignore the bear that's mauling on you. You cannot ignore the damage that's coming out from Mirana. So eventually I think the Razor is going to fall, but for now, he's definitely king.
Yeah, Mirana has the big mobility advantage over Razor in fights. Bloodlust, Phase, Drums build, now Manta. Loda can find anyone who's alone and kill them, and he can run really effectively. So if he doesn't die to burst, he's going to be around on the fights. Razor, not very mobile, can be caught for the most part, doesn't have access to leap, doesn't have Bloodlust on his side. Sure, he's got his passive, but Alliance has the more reliable lockdown here. So they'll take a tier 1 top. The Alliance answer back. 9-7 the score. Na'Vi going for tier 2 bottom. It looks like Alliance will try and turn 2. Glyphs down. Tower falling fast. Na'Vi, tier 2 bottom to fall. It's a trade from both teams. Nobody fighting. I think Alliance...
trade.
No, they've got Bloodlust here.
Yeah,
Na'Vi cannot go for this.
You cannot base trade. In fact, it's not really even trade. They traded a tier...
Glyph. This tower might just die before they get back.
Like, you cannot base... Look at this bear with the Bloodlust. Tier 3's going to go down for free.
Tower's going to fall. Now they're just going to back off. Havos launching a stun. Does hit Bulldog, 4-staffed away. Now Moonlight Shadow. Is there a gem? There is on Havos, but Na'Vi forced to back off. They can't trade like that. They just can't. Not against the Bloodlust Bear.
They did not respect the power of a Radiance, a Bloodlust Bear. I mean, they got a tier 2, which is nice, but they gave up 3 towers on the top lane for it. I mean, if you look at this gold graph, well, we haven't registered yet, but it will be a spike downwards.
Yeah, right now it's basically just like a 3k gold difference for these teams. And again, that's where having a gold advantage that comes from tower gold is easily recovered if you can push them down. So Alliance now coming back. They've got a Hastrun up on S4. And now Loda can work on his next item. We don't see too much Mirana Lumi, and generally she's not thought of as a hard carry. She doesn't have a steroid skill aside from Leap, which gives her a little bit of move speed and attack speed, not a whole lot, but she's a very mobile carry, and if she gets enough items, she is an agility hero. She can pack a punch.
Yeah, she doesn't really get there very quickly. She needs like 2, 3, sometimes even 4 items to start dealing out, very respectable damage. But as an early game semi-carry, she gives a ton of utility. We saw the random arrow that hit Dendi when he tethered in during a team fight. We've seen great usage of Moonlight Shadow so far. So Loda is not really a big deal just yet, but he definitely will grow into a carry that you cannot ignore.
He's a living legend. He just hasn't revealed it yet. Yeah. So we're going to see his big deal come out soon. And now I just got to say, I got to take my hat off to Alliance right now, no matter how this game turns out, because a lesser team just would have broken after the way that tri-lane went, after Bulldog dying mid. This is resilience at its finest. It's patience from them. Now Na'Vi, farming a stack of Ancients, they're going to try and get Havos even fatter. He is still ahead by about 3.5k gold. He's still leading that lone druid. He continues to farm. The other heroes are somewhat struggling. There's a mech up on Puppey, that's about it. Kuroki, it's 31 minutes in, and how often do we see him not having Blink Force, not having more mobility items on his Rubik, but he doesn't this game. He's just not getting the farm. It's all Havos, and normally with Na'Vi, I feel like it's a more balanced split than this.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everybody. Meanwhile, S4, he's thinking about jump. He's got the haste rune, so here we go. He's scouting over
this
everybody.
This could be a disaster if Na'Vi get caught. But they're in the enemy jungle. There's no dire vision of this. Not going to be an easy engage, and now it's that dance before Rocher respawns. It's just good positioning from the Alliance. Loda tucked away to the right. If he gets relocated on, I mean, basically it's a big bait right here.
Right.
They want them to go on Loda, and then they'll all turn it around. But Na'Vi not taking the bait.
I mean, speaking of relocate, when's the last time we've seen it? If you go like 5-10 minutes without using a single last time it was during the Roshan fight, right? That's when we saw it last. That was 6-7 minutes ago. If Alliance is dodging relocate ganks for 6-7 minutes, you have done well. Support, again, always hiding in fog. And nobody exposing themselves to the danger of that Wisp.
And look at this. They're just going to keep on taking trades because they have the Lone Druid Bear, which hits like a truck. The tier 2 bottom's going to fall. Now they have to defend mid, but S4, he's got a Blink Force. He's got a Lasso as well. Dendi will be essential to keep him safe. The tier 3 mid falls. There's no glyph available. In comes the Bear. They're looking for a root on Havos. The Bear's damage being stolen. S4 leaps in, grabs Funnick, but can't kill him off. He's low. He's not dead. No damage to bring him down. BKB from Funnick. Na'Vi standing strong, but they lose him. Loda snipes the kill. The Bear's dead. Soon to be resummoned. Puppey falling fast. Loda with a DD. Plinking. He's starting to hurt. That's 2 down. The Alliance not dead. Turning it around. Havos in trouble. Chain stun City, but he gets a 2-hero stun. He's going to turn it back the other way.
Havos right-clicking forward look. He's going to get EGM as well. That's a triple kill, but Aki says skill cast, baby.
Team White for Alliance. They completely win the fight.
How often do we see Havos get a triple kill on the other side, and it's the Alliance winning it back? How many buyback were used that team fight was just so chaotic.
2 buybacks from the Alliance, so they lost 3, but they got 5. And the Alliance right now can barrel down the middle lane, will be able to take a tier 2. They'll set up for the next Roach. Their position on this map, on the back of that fight, just got a whole lot stronger. And I gotta say, man, Loda, these DD runs coming at just the right moment. And you can see, you kill the Bear once, you focus the Lone Druid Bear, that's great. Bulldog resummons it, and he goes right back to work.
Yeah, you gotta kill the actual Bear back in the mid lane here. S4 gets dragged, and Funnick, he's gonna get blown up. No BKB being activated. The familiar drops a little bit too slow, and with 2-3 heroes still dead, I think they're gonna try their high ground look.
Yeah, there's no relocate right now. It is cooling down very soon. I do want to mention Kuroki stole Lasso, but doesn't have a Blink Dagger or a Force Staff, so can he actually use it? That'll be a lot tougher. Now gets hit by an arrow. Uh-oh, here comes the Bear.
No, they want the tower. Look at this tower.
The tower. Look at it melt. Now Glyph forced out again. You know, Na'Vi...
Havos self-stun.
Na'Vi keep on having to use Glyph just for these casual pushes. Like, Alliance aren't even committing to a fight, and Na'Vi have to Glyph for that. So if they lose another fight, that could just be racks and maybe even game on one bad fight.
Basher's coming now, so if you think you could run away from this Bear, I mean...
Arrow to fly, completely off the mark, but yeah, the Bear, one good Basher on Havos and he's probably dead.
I mean, again, Basher, it's a very standard item, but we have not seen Basher with Bloodlust. Like, this guy's attack speed is just so far off the chart that what do you do? I guess the best thing to do is to focus and finish Admiral Bulldog, but so far Na'Vi has not been making that play because you cannot ignore Mirana, you cannot ignore the 2 support that could, in theory, blow you up with things like Laguna Blade and multicast. So right now Na'Vi has a ton of stuff to worry about and not nearly enough DPS to actually get all those kills.
Na'Vi, though, they did take a tier 3 mid. They defend their base for now. So in terms of the tier 3s, we're even. The tier 2s were even. Gold experience really close. 7.5k gold. This is really a slugfest. The analysts wanted a closer game, and we're getting one. And here we go. Havos in the front line. They found Aki, but they relocated forward. Kind of wasted, but they will get the kill. Not really ideal. Now Aki just says, okay, I'm buying back. Lasso, though, stolen by Kuroki. He'll find S4. S4's dead. Now they relocate a few steps away. Dendi's low. Dendi's not dead. And Havos is on the hunt. No, stunned, isolated, can't finish the job. Bulldog cleaning up on the backside. He's not been focused yet. And now he might find Funnick. Where's that Bear going to go? Nothing just yet. Now he's on the run.
Amro in a little bit of trouble.
There's a haste run on Dendi. Uh-oh, Lumi. Uh-oh. Bear's going to drop. He's got to resummon. Are they going to fight? No, another Bear death. More gold into Na'Vi's pockets.
Na'Vi's gotta try to get something done right now. Gotta focus at Rex. Bat Rider dead for about 20 seconds. S4, does he have buyback?
No buyback.
Yes, he does.
No,
yes,
he already used it.
No, use it. Cooldown.
Already used it. Cannot buy back. There's no glyph here either. It's all up to the Bear, and if the Bear dies, it's dead for a good minute and a half. But an arrow nails Havos. Where's the bow up? There's a Dendi relocate soon, and he just can't really be damaged here. That overcharge starting to kick in. And in the
Bash, Roots, oh my god! Funnick's just gonna melt. Here comes S4. He finds Havos. Havos is gonna get focused as well. Dendi does not get the relocate out. They want more. The arrow. Oh no, it does not hit. S4 says, I'll clean up, no problem. And that's yet another base defense. This Rax is just immortal for Alliance.
Sweden's finest are standing strong. The Alliance, 17-14, leading in gold. The experience now heavily their way, gold even. But this Roche will break the game open. Alliance, now we're going to see Loda. Another damage item. The MKB's on the way. And this game, it does start to feel like if Alliance gets a lasso, Na'Vi just can't fight. Alliance seem to be gaining momentum, seizing control of this game. Aegis, this time, no, it's on to Loda again. And one step closer they are. One more good fight and Alliance could easily win.
Alliance thinking about setting up shop on the mid lane, maybe starting that stage. Kuroki picks up a very important item. We saw what he did without the blink on using a flaming lasso against S4. That was a beautiful play, but let's see what he could do for his team, because his team definitely needs him right now. He needs to make some huge plays.
37 minutes in, it's been a very back and forth game. Nobody with a clear edge, but Alliance gaining steam, looking for a pick. One good lasso could just spell doom. There's only buyback on Havost and Funnick. In comes Havost, looking for a stun. It's gonna hit, but it's very far away. S4 not an easy target now. Still chasing, arrow to fly. Loda nails it again. Where's that lasso? Baiting out the BKB. Havost slapping and chopping, but not finishing a hero off. And now his BKB ends. He's on his own. Lassoed and pulled back into 4, but tethered up. It's up to the bear. He's gonna self-stun. Oh no, Havost is gonna fall.
Oh no, Havost getting caught out. Now Dendi being chased as well. They're not going to get the kill. Just a buyback coming out from Host. Dendi tethers backward here. We'll reset and reload here, but Alliance getting every advantage
They
right
just
now.
forced out a double buyback for absolutely nothing. Didn't lose their Aegis. Did not use a buyback on their own. That is so big.
And I mean, there's no Aegis on the Emerald Bulldog. They're absolutely confident that he is not going to die. Every time that Havost is diving in, going for kill, it's Emerald Bulldog that finds the kill faster because his bear's attacking faster. He's chasing a lot more effectively with things like Phase Food and Bloodlust. This is why you do not give Emerald Bulldog his Lone Druid, because it's just amazing. Like, how do you stop this guy?
He always finds a way. And I mean, it goes back to the Ogre Magi of Ake as well. Without Bloodlust, I think this bear could be dealt with. But with it, it's just too much right now. It's a max Bloodlust. 16% move speed, 50% attack speed on a hero that's got very low base attack time. He hits really hard, really fast. And now Loda, close to an MKB. Already we see a BKB coming out for S4. There is only one way to cancel a lasso initiation. That is to steal the lasso and use it the other way, or get a very lucky bash. And Havost does not have a basher, so Na'Vi smoke up. They're heading to the top lane, looking for a pick, but maybe not expecting Loda. Throws out the arrow, hits Kuroki. Do they jump this? This is dangerous. They didn't see a hero. They just saw the stun. Now a sentry deployed. Still diving. Havost, long range stun. EGM gets caught. He forces up. He's on the high ground. He's gonna fall, but I think it might be too late. S4 held in position. No BKB. Now
EGM
on the run.
TP's out. He survives.
Wow, actually there was a BKB, and S4 is gonna live. Na'Vi, they force something out. Another arrow. Another one. He keeps on fishing. Sooner or later, you're going to get a bite.
Yeah, Na'Vi just have to back off right now. They use both their BKBs. Theirs is on cooldown. Meanwhile, nobody's actually dead on Alliance. And of course, they have their BKBs available, or they have their spells available, excuse me. And Alliance now looking for something themselves. S4 smoked, hasted.
He didn't use lasso there, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
If they find someone, they're going to go. And Na'Vi, very confidently, will head in. They do have an observer ward here, but right now, Alliance are smoked, no sentries up on the map. And we might just see a pick. In comes S4, wrapping around towards mid. Na'Vi scurrying to retreat. Kuroki's got blink, but no, it's too late. They found a Havost, the worst hero that ever could die.
Relocate back here, and they want to bring Funnick back in the fight. Double damage on Dendi. Let's see how much you do. Zap, and Lena's dead, and now they're going to go for Aki. Arrow's going to miss. They find Aki. Aki just melt. Gank the bear. Don't let the bear go. He's running fast. He's running hard, and nobody could chase it down. Havost, blink, and there's a recall. That bear is amazing.
No buyback here on Ogre. No buyback on Lena. Is there a glyph? Alliance does have one. They're going to need to blow it now. They might have to forfeit this Rax. They're strong, but I don't think they're 3v5 strong. Glyph is out. Havost, he'll keep on swiping. They're going to lose a lane of Rax here. They'll have to decide if they want to contest. It's not an easy go. S4, he wasn't sure. He didn't jump yet. He gets lifted. Chain stunned and brought down. Now Funnick, Duke taking it out. Havos smacking the bear, but it's living. It's winning the fight. Loda, MKB up, standing and delivering. They get the Rex, they lose a Razor, and they get a bat as well. Na'Vi, big win for them there, but their work is not done yet.
Definitely not that Na'Vi will make the retreat. But huge plays from Na'Vi, because if they didn't get that Rex, they were not going to win this game. They needed that Rex.
The crowd now cheering for Na'Vi. 17-20 your score. 42 minutes in. Gold experience. Heavily in Alliance's favor, sure, but we're at a point in the game where that experience starts to trail off in terms of how much it matters. Everyone's got their level 11. 16 still elusive for a few, but now items, gold, they matter less. Positioning, buybacks, Roshan matter more. Roshan, 5 minutes off coming up. Loda, he's still got Aegis here, but the other big thing about that fight for Na'Vi is the timing window to use Aegis to win a fight and take Rex off of it, well, it's about to close because the Aegis is about to expire. I think there's 1 minute to go.
Well, here they come. They could storm down the mid lane, definitely, but they're going to have to do it with basically huge creep waves.
They really have to stay together, though, because you're up against Wisp. If they're off on their own, if they spread out, then relocate will just ruin you in these fights.
Right. I don't think they will make the push. In fact, they want to get a gank team fight up top here. Of course, with Moonlight Shadow, you definitely have the element of surprise on your hand, but smoked up here from Na'Vi. They want to go for a pick.
Not sure where it is right now. It looks like Na'Vi coming in. Havos channeling a stun. We'll see the bear, but he wants a hero. Relocate as well. Nope. Lasso's going to be there.
They find S4.
S4, no. BKB. He gets caught yet again. The stun's there. Loda, Aegis soon to expire. No Manta driven back. No buyback on the Batrider. Very far away. Is this 2 lanes of Rax, Lumi? Could this even be game?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be
mid lane is pushing, though.
Let's quickly check on buyback status. There is no buyback on anybody. Oh, this could be game.
There's no glyph here.
I mean, this
Alliance are gonna have to find. They're gonna have to really muster their courage. They have to find a good fight. It's tough. Remember Havosta's overcharge. This ain't your average Alchemist. This is a very buff one. And in they go. Hard to kill. Kuroki with the blink, the lift. Ake caught. Na'Vi finding the pickoffs. This could be game. 2 lanes of Rex soon to fall. Loda though driving them back. Starfall's there. Something stolen. The bear man fighting out with a boast. Loda locked in position. Does not give 2 hopes. Then the arrow comes. Another blade.
Again, Kuroki just connecting. Lina melts. The Rex melts. Loda trying his best to hold off whatever he can, but Havos just does not care on the front line. That second lane of Rex. S4 is back, and I think that's time to get the hell out for Na'Vi. They got exactly what they wanted. Havos says, no, I want more. I'm going to just storm down and get the mid-Rex.
Give me a range Rex as well. If you're not buying back, you must not have it, he says. And in they go. Kuroki, another leap. This time a BKB from S4, but he's not using it to fight. Now, they grab Loda. He gets 4-staffed into the fray. Lifted up, dropped down and dead. Loda has fallen, and the Swedes are in a headlong state of disarray. Na'Vi on the brink of being 1 game away from taking the entire tournament.
Can they make a safe retreat? That's a big question right now. S4, big chase, but if you see a Na'Vi S5, they're rotating, they're moving bot. They don't want to chase, they don't want to go back, they just want to win the game right now. They're about 48 seconds without buyback on Loda. This is a go time.
Remember, if Na'Vi do die, they've got a buyback relocate available. So they really have 7 heroes here. They really do have an Aegis in this fight. And in they go. It could be 3 lanes of Rex. It could very well be game. Alliance might be trailing for the first time ever in this series. Here we go. Funnick falling fast. The tether stun's there. Test 4, lassoing Funnick. Funnick will fall, but EGM's been caught, and EGM is dead. Havos is merciless. That's 3 lanes of Rex. That's probably game. He's got the buyback. He's still alive, and Alliance are on their very last legs.
Then the overcharging, blocking damage, earning himself. Havos is immortal. They disarm, and they're going to keep on right-clicking. Havos still alive. How is this man alive?
Finally, he'll die, but he buys back. Dendi will too. They're coming right back in. Actually, no relocate. They do lose a few. They lose 4, but that's mega creeps. And Alliance now, good luck leaving your base. Na'Vi pulling this game out of the hat. It felt like the momentum was tipping against them, but they found the fights. They found the pickoffs, and all of a sudden, This is their game.
Alliance has 1 minute to prove himself. They have to just storm down the mid lane and go for the throne right now because they wouldn't extend the game. You can see entire team is just trying to A-collect down mid. Let's see if they can do it.
Remember, they do have the bear. Remember, they do have extra attack speed on him. Remember how hard Demolish hits. If Na'Vi screw up here, they did use a buyback on Avost. If somehow he dies, if they mess up this defense, it could very well go the other way. But here comes. This is the last fight for Alliance.
It's going to be really hard. The one thing that we have not talked about at all is that Dendy's got a Heaven's Halberd. That is disarm against the bear. When you rely so much on a single target, deal that damage, and obviously...
And a Divine.
Oh,
they're going for it. I love it. Alliance showing some real cojones in this match. They've got to win this fight. Loda has a DD as well. This bear will absolutely murder anything. Bears win games. Will it win this one? There's a glyph on Na'Vi. There's a buyback on the Wisp. Arrow not going to accomplish anything. In comes the bear. In comes S4. He's found Funnick. In comes the boat as well.
Disarm against the bear. He's not doing anything. Funnick survived the initiation. Hobos says,
bear.
I want the
rapier.
I want your Aegis. Thank you very much.
The Divine Rapier is now on Funnick, and Na'Vi are going to cut Alliance's head off down the middle lane. GG! They started this series off 0-1. They started this series off looking like they had no idea what they were doing. And yet here they are, leading 2-1. The defending International 1 champions fell short last year, but this year it might be their chance to return to their former glory.
Do we count on Na'Vi or do we say 3-2 Na'Vi? Are they making a comeback or will Alliance
We'll find out. And on that note, we throw it back to the analysts. Guys, Na'Vi's close. They can taste it.
Na'Vi then on match point, guys. It's pretty intense in terms of, I don't know how Alliance held on so long after their offensive tri-lane. I have to say, that offensive tri-lane in terms of the Mirana, Ogre Magi, and Lino is designed to get picks and kill and be aggressive, but you can't do anything against an Alchemist that has a Rubik and a Visage sat behind, and I almost felt it maybe was a mistake to even offensively ward the pulling spot because you almost wanted Na'Vi to pull so they would separate it, and from there, the whole game was on the bear and the bat for Alliance.
I definitely agree. I'm surprised they, as you were saying, held on for this long. But every fight just turned out in Alliance's favor up until the point where Na'Vi pushed in and took the middle Raxes. Here we see the fight at the top tower or the top Raxes, and Havos is just going at it. Look at how much damage it takes from them. When they go for the last set of Raxes on the bottom lane, he just tanks 3 heroes without even losing HP because of that Wisp. It was just ridiculous how much he could tank at the end, and maybe they should start considering banning out the Alchemist against him because he seems way too strong for them to handle.
I mean, Alchemist is already a strong hero, and combine that with a Wisp, we haven't really seen it that often because Wisp is typically banned, but this is the big bad Havos, and he was unstoppable. I thought there were 3 key points that Alliance actually got a pretty good lead. One was a Roshan fight where
S4 came in.
Yeah, S4 came in, dragged Alchemist like up the hill. They had no way to save him. Even though he had a heart, he just was completely out of position there, and that is one of the strengths of Batrider. Also, Havos going heart first, I wasn't completely sold on idea. I think AC may have been a better choice. I thought that Alliance took a couple of team fights that they shouldn't have because of that heart, and then the trade on the top lane, they had Alliance actually got the T3 tower, and it was just a T2 trade. They got a T2 and a T3 for a T2, and I thought they could have pressured that because Alliance is just so good at split pushing. I thought they could try and avoid fights, but with the mobility of Wisp and with Havos just being ridiculously strong.
I actually think the heart was a great item choice, simply because the way to bring him down was through Ogre and Lina combos, and if he just had the HP to survive their spell combo, there was no way they could bring him down because Potom didn't really do much damage at the time being, so the heart was just an overall great item choice. We saw them trying to gank him on the top rune at the ancient spot, and they didn't deal any damage to him whatsoever, and Lina and Ogre died, and they just pushed on middle lane instead.
I mean, normally with a heart, you don't consider the Alchemist to have very much effective HP out of it just because of how low armor, but the heart was done and just like literally straight after, you had a plate mail. So in terms, yeah, I think it actually kind of did work out in a way for him, that heart pickup. Bruno, what did you make of the match?
Well, this is not the first time Alliance tried to run this Ogre Magi and Lone Druid combo. It actually works very well for them in general. They are 6-1 before this game, now they're 6-2. The whole idea of this lineup is, of course, trying to get overpowered when it gets to late game, and that bear becomes super threatening because all of your Raxes melt immediately. Now, one of the reasons why maybe it didn't work, it was not because of the bear in particular.
It was the Bat Rider, man. The Bat Rider, okay, you do it.
No, please. No, please.
As far as I could tell, there was too much pressure on S4 to actually get the picks. You saw when he got a good pick, they got a kill over by Roshan. And after that, Kurokai was picking him up if he had the potential chance, but it was also the Wisp Teva stun. There were a few times when S4 went in and just couldn't pull what he wanted, or he got picked off. And him getting picked off twice, I think it was, twice in a row,
maybe
that kind of led
times,
Na'Vi to be able to get the racks. But Bruno, you can prove me wrong.
No, it's perfect because you worded that and you served it perfectly to me. This strategy of the Lone Druid and Ogre Magi actually is a very good strategy. It's been tried 19 times and it has a 58% win rate, which is more than acceptable. But when it's played with the Bat Rider, 0%. It's 0-4. It never works for some reason. Maybe it's all about the Bat Rider being pressure, maybe it's just coincidence, but I think you're perfectly right when you said used all the pressure on this guy. And there's also, let's not forget about not the primary carries of the game, which were the Lone Druid and the Alchemist, but also Fanic on the Mirana, and Fanic on the Razor and Loda on the Mirana. Because Loda at this time was not playing the main carry, he was a secondary role. And these two guys, they had some responsibility as well. Mirana had to land their arrows, and Fanic had to make sure that the static link worked perfectly so that at least the Druid becomes a non-factor or someone on the other team becomes a non-factor. And I think the different performance of these two heroes made the difference in the end because Razor just got a little bit more than what Loda could get in the Mirana.
Yeah. And also, if you look at Loda's start in that tri-lane, no farm whatsoever. There was no farm available. Havos was playing amazing. He just, deny-wise and just kept him out the lane, and the Ogre Magi and Lina just didn't really know what to do. And the trouble is, when you've got those two heroes, Ogre Magi and Lina, in an offensive tri-lane, how do you rotate without being obvious? You can't smoke and go to mid. It's like, well, they're missing.